What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Y'all know what time it is. It's your boy, Kizzie in the building, and I can't wait to talk. Yes, sir, man. Back in the building, back with another episode, man. Truly excited, man. I really thank y'all for just tuning in. I thank y'all, man. Hey, if you haven't already done, subscribe to the channel, man. Let people know we out here. After you watch this video, make sure you like it. Make sure you comment. Make sure you share it, man, so more people can know we out here. We doing major things. This is Can't Wait to Talk, and we going to talk about it. You dig? So truly just thankful for just another day, another opportunity, and, got a amazing episode on the day, and I'm truly excited about it. And I got a special guest that's coming on that's going to be able to expound on some things, man. So ladies, tune in, fellas, tune in, because I think it's going to be an impactful show. And, we're just going to go in. So my special guest that I have, this family, so it's intentional. It's personal, but other than that, man, she's a mother. She's a hairdresser. She's a dance instructor. Dirty white. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? She be doing her thing. So, and I'm pretty sure there's other things that she have. I think it's an organization or something that she has, but we're going to let her expound on it. So without further ado, y'all show your love for Tiana Williams.
Hey.
What's up?
Hello.
How you doing this evening or today?
I am doing all right this evening. How are you?
I'm good. All is well. I'm blessed and not stressed. So all is well.
Hey, all good words right there.
Yeah. Well, we ain't gonna waste no time. We're gonna go and jump in this thing. Today's episode is called Postpartum PostME. Um, the reason why I came up with this topic is because just going through, social media and stuff. I think I was, of course we friends on Facebook, and I had seen some things, kind of heard some things, but I didn't want to comment on it because I'm like, well, you ain't told me, so that's how rumors get started. When you kind of see stuff and you hear stuff, but yet you don't hear it from the horse's mouth, so you kind of run
Mm-hmm.
with information, and it's like, no, let me if it's true or if something going on, I would rather ask myself if it's in play to ask. I'm just not finna just are you dealing with so I asked you, had you dealt with it, and you said yes, and but I know that you have pushed past it, and you're doing amazing things and stuff like that. So that's why I named it Postpartum PostME, because that's it on my platform. We always deal with weight, and having postpartum for a woman is a heavy thing, but there's always, if you uh learn about it, if you get the information that you need, or if you get the help that you need, that you can get past it. You know what I'm saying? Like you can get past that part, and you can hopefully help somebody else. And so I wanted you to come on, to talk about it, as well as help us men, because I'm not a woman, so I don't know
Mm-hmm.
anything about postpartum. You hear about it and stuff like that, and I've never had my own blood children, so I've never had to deal with a wife or whatever that has postpartum. So not crazy. Yeah. Anyway, that's another story. But I, but so I want you to be able to help, guys, as women as well as guys. So first off, I just want to ask you this question. Um, well, first off, tell us about yourself. Who is Tiana? Who is the woman? Who is the mother? Who is the entrepreneur?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. We don't have enough time for that, but
Okay, give us the
but
short
no.
version.
Right. Okay, well, yes, I am Tiana Williams, and I am a natural stylist. I do a lot of treatments and just different holistic things with natural hair as well as protective styling. I also am a dance instructor, dance hall, and my business with that is called Wine Teens. And I teach a lot of things with like whining, the hips, and just things like that. And then the organization or the project is H3 is Me, which is happy, healing, hurting at the same time. And that one is just a series of things under one umbrella that promotes that it's okay to be able to do those three things consecutively. So, yeah, that is
Wow.
me. I am a mother of three. I have three kids. Who Tuesday I'll be having two teenagers, and Lord, I'm not
Wow.
okay. But
Wow.
but
Got that
yes,
teen
all the
life. The
while,
teen life.
listen,
Yeah.
whoo, Lord. But
Wow.
I enjoy each one of the things that I do comes from a passion within my life, and I love them equally.
Awesome. 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 And that's what's up. That's what's up. So let's just kick it off like this. What is postpartum?
Well, postpartum is, in the simplest term, it is a feeling or consecutive action that happens after you have given birth, or even sometimes when through miscarriage from a long term pregnancy, or if you have any type of loss after having some type of pregnancy.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So since you said you've had three kids, when was the first time that you had postpartum? Like, was it just with one child, or did you have it with all three?
Actually, I had them with all three. And
Hmm.
the thing about having postpartum is most women, I want to say all, but I'm not going to, but it's a majority. You will have postpartum with every child. Sometimes it's just levels to it because there are different levels. You can just have regular postpartum depression, where it's just your hormones that are starting to get back into terms. And if you have a girl, your hormones can be way up there. So it can kind of give you a lot of anxiety and things. And so that can turn into postpartum if you feel like you're feeding your anxiety a lot more. And then you have it goes all the way up to depression, to postpartum psychosis. Like you can have an actual psychosis um, episode just from your postpartum. So with each one of my kids, I experienced with my oldest, which was my first pregnancy, I had a little bit of postpartum depression, but it wasn't as much, mainly stemming from the anxiety of being a first time mother. Being that first time mother and just being out, it was just like, oh, okay, am I doing this right? Can I do this right? It was just all of these different things. And then with my son, my middle child, it went more into a like a guilt. I had a guilt foundation to my postpartum depression, and that in turn turned into anxiety attacks and things. The only thing that would soothe me is him skin to skin with me. So and then with my youngest, um it was just a little bit of postpartum because I was so exhausted with stress because of all of the complications I had with her. So I went through postpartum, but it wasn't as bad as when I had it the second time around.
Got you. Got you. Got you.
Mhm.
So when you're going through this postpartum, like what is it that you are actually like doing, or do you have a are you emotional all the time as far as like crying, or are you upset and mad and angry, or with the people around you, or like well, I guess what type of emotions do you go? Because I mean, when you talk about depression, depression is kind of like an emotional thing, whereas you could be real low, as far as just sad or whatever the case may be. Well, what type of emotion did you experience as you were going through these different you know as you was going through your postpartum?
And the first level is just sadness. You're just very sad. You're sad because there's all these thoughts in your head. Am I going to be a good mother? Oh my gosh, what am I doing wrong? It's all of these different things. And then it's also situational. If you're going through things like in each one of my pregnancies, emotionally, I had already been going through things. So with my first pregnancy, there was a lot of stress that went along with that, being that I was a teen mother, and being a teen mother and understanding I'm responsible for a life at this young of age. Um,
Mm,
it was really scary for me. So after I had her, it was just all of this feeling of I'm not going to be a good mother, or I know that I'm going to be a good mother, but will people judge me for this? And so you have all of these different things that's going on, and that's what happened with her. So it was extreme sadness for me when it came to her, and it was mainly because I was so worried about being a good mother. With my son, it was sadness, it was guilt, um it was just all of these things. I don't know what it was that me and him, my son, we had this extreme attachment.
mm.
When he would cry and start screaming, oh my gosh, he had like this piercing scream, and that scream was higher than Mariah Carey. So it was like he would go into those screams, and
Wow.
I would feel that. And if I feel like I'm at work too long, or I can't be with him long enough, and just any of those things, I go into panic. And then once I start panic, the only thing to calm me down is him. And that turned, and then having anxiety with that, you're like, um, first, I'm already sad. I can't be with him. And then you turn around and you have a double whammy because now you can't do anything about it. And so now
Right.
you're so in your head that your head is taking over everything. And having that happen with him really, like, it really messed with my head. It made me really feel I felt alone. I felt all of the, just all of these emotions, and having those emotions come to you so much and so quick, so fast, it just turned into a psychosis to where I was just in the bed. I didn't want to do anything. The only thing I wanted to do was lay in the bed and be with the baby. That was it. I didn't want to work. I was just not I just felt discouraged to do anything. And so emotionally that really took a toll on me, because now I'm neglecting my other baby. I'm neglecting my oldest baby. So now that's another feeling of guilt that I have. So all of these things are coming up with me, and I'm just feeling more and more and more depressed. And just like you said, it is all of those feelings that you have when you're depressed. You're not wanting to get out of the bed, you wanting it to be dark, you want it, just all of those things definitely comes into play when you have postpartum as well. So each emotion is always something different. And then with my youngest baby, oh my goodness, I can't say that I had too much postpartum with her. I had a little bit of sadness because I'm like, oh Lord, I got 3 kids. Oh, and I knew that
Yeah,
that
that'll make
one,
anybody sad. It. Oh.
man, I'm telling you, yes, because when I had her, well, soon as I found out I was pregnant with her, she took me through it. So I knew that little girl was going to be something. I said, okay, I don't know what's to come of this child, but whatever it is, it's something big and major. And am I worthy to be able to be her mother for the role and purpose that she have coming? So that's kind of where my mind went, because I've always seen my kids' future. I've seen what they can do, and I see their personalities before they were even born. And so me feeling that, I'm really like, okay, what can I do to make sure that I'm putting them in that purpose? And it's not driven by me. This is all by purpose aligned with God. I'm not trying to change their course of story. So being that mother and giving birth to them the way that I did, and I'm like, oh, these little lives are, my responsibility, my obligation. It became overwhelming. And so that's kind of where my postpartum depression came with her.
Wow, wow, that's good. So where should women go, or who do they talk to about their postpartum? Like, what are there programs, or how should they reach out, and how do they know that they're dealing with it? Like what information could you give, or do you think that could help women, as far as like, what signs are there, um or like I said, well, where could they go or reach out to, to be able to talk about what they're dealing with?
So there's so many different things that you could do. It's really based on you. Of course, we hear therapy is always good. It's very good. I love therapy. I was in therapy. Well, am still continuously going to therapy for over 6 years. And so I am a big advocate for it. But sometimes we don't even realize we're in the situation until we far deep in it. And once you're like so far deep into that depression stage, it's hard for you to reach out to someone. So it's always good. We always hear about preventative measures for other things. Preventative measures, building you a tribe, building somebody of community around you before you give birth so that you can be able to understand what's about to happen, especially for first time mothers. Like, you have to have a community of mothers around you to be able to catch you when you fall, because you will. And if you do it alone, that's when it becomes even more hard. And so I always say, the main thing is preventative measures. Make sure that when you do get pregnant, you get around some women that'll pray for you, or be actively there for you when you have these situations come up. Because even if you don't have it as bad, you can still be there and be a part of the community, because I'm telling you, postpartum depression goals for years. It's not just within the first year you have this child. It can sneak up on you within 2 years of the child. It can do different things to you at different times of your, postpartum period. And so with you knowing that, it's good for you to just go through those preventative measures, build you a tribe and a community around you, so that you have that, that strength. And then if you already are in therapy, continue. Make sure you journal. If you're journaling and documenting all of the different things that you're feeling, and you go back and read it that next week, you can kind of see where your progress or regress goes. And if it's going into regression, you definitely want to make sure that you are seeking help, going to therapy. If you need to go to the doctor and speak to them, they know different measures for you as well, your gynecologist. So the main thing that you don't want to do is just stay quiet. There's nothing good that comes from you staying quiet. And that's with anything when it comes to mental disorders. And this is not necessarily a disorder, but it is something that plays with your mental psyche. So you have to make sure you treat it with care. So, preventative measures. Once you get into it, making sure you're seeking therapy. And once you are on that end of it, you help somebody along the way so that you can continue the healing process of what you've done, because it doesn't stop at the end of your depression. You continuously being able to help someone is going to further your knowledge and understanding that this did not happen to you for you. It happened for you to help the next person. So that's the other part of your healing as well.
Got you. Now, I do know that you were married, or at least all your children is by the same man. Let's put that out there. And what I want to know is, you had you know you know, a helpmate, your husband there, throughout these pregnancies. So, what is it that men need to know? Because number one, I feel like God created, you know, God's plan for us as men and women, is to, the man that finds a wife, he finds a good thing and obtain favor, and the
Mhm.
woman is his helpmeet. And, as the two become one, they have children. And so God had the plan like that so that, we can raise these kids properly and stuff like that. But every woman don't have that story. So
Mhm.
a lot of them, not only are they having children out of wedlock, but now they gotta, they gotta try to raise this child, and the man is either there or he ain't, or whatever. So and I'm pretty sure that can kind of add into, the postpartum. But as far as men go, what can you share with us to help us to try to understand what y'all are dealing with, and so we won't just think that y'all are crazy? Because as a man, I can tell you right now, if a woman is going off, or she's, we'll try to be there, but then at some point we just like, man, the girl crazy. I don't know what in the world. Like, I tried to get it, try to get, she just da. And the reality of it is, y'all are really dealing with something. So it's like, how can we? Because see, that's the thing. Women deal with a lot of different things that I don't think men really understand and get the grasp of. Because yeah, it's postpartum when when you having a child, but then it's menopause when you get older. When you can no longer have children and your body start doing all types of things. So men are so clueless when it comes to that. And not only are we clueless when it comes to it, but you know, it could be we don't have the patience for it, or it could be just we're uninformed. So, what kind of information could you share with men to say, hey, you know, this could help us, or this could, alleviate the problems, or whatever the case may be? So, what you think you could share with us to kind of help us out to have a better understanding of what y'all are dealing with?
Okay. Um, okay, well, first, uh, all three of the kids are not by my ex-husband. One, my first child, my oldest, is not. She was I
Okay,
was 16 when I had her. So
okay,
I mean, like, right after I got out of high school, I had her. So I should have stayed in
okay,
school. No, I'm
okay.
just playing.
Yeah.
But but in learning that when I first had her, um, it was just I was at such a different place in my life. I was, going from house to house, pretty much practically homeless and pregnant with my baby, because I needed peace. And it felt like peace was better with me working and understanding that I'm about to bring life into this world than be in a house full of chaos, And so I I chose this, and I went, and when I had her, all of that started to come along where I felt like I want to give her the world, but how can I give her the world when I don't even see it for myself? And so in having that, I struggled a lot. Um, and with her, I didn't have anyone, man wise, that was around me that could help me and kind of protect me. Of course, I have my dad the best way that I could, but when other people are going through things, it's hard for them to be there for you. So it's like I felt alone. I felt like I had help, but I didn't have that support when it came to postpartum depression. I just kind of had to figure it out on my own. And back then I was introduced to therapy, but I wasn't in it like I needed to be. And with my other two, yes, I was married, and we were very happy to be able to have kids. And that was one of my biggest thing was, I mean, before I knew I wanted to be a wife, I knew I wanted to be a mother. And knowing that, I just wanted to take everything that came with it. So when I would get depressed and things like that, with my son, I wasn't very vocal and communicative because I didn't really understand what was happening. All I knew was that I felt different. I didn't feel like myself, and I didn't know how to articulate that because I didn't know where it was coming from. Um, I knew about postpartum depression, and I knew that I had some form of it, but I didn't know the depths of how it was. So it was hard for me to translate that to my ex-husband because I didn't know what was happening. Um, and when I did, I was able to. So what I will say for the men, read up, get very knowledgeable about depression, and also talk to your significant other, your partner, because um, a lot of times we can hold trauma within our womb that can generalize a lot of our triggers that manifest into our postpartum depression. So if we've been molested or any of those type of things that has happened to us, that's trauma that has been held into our womb. And most women do not know about womb trauma. And when you have that type of trauma manifesting in you for all of your life or all of these years, a lot of times it will manifest into your triggers that comes through your postpartum depression. So that when you know these things, you can communicate effectively to your partner and say, hey, I dealt with this in my childhood. This is what I go through. This is some things that I know that may trigger me. So when this happens to me, I need you to be there for me in a way that will soothe what's going on and not add extra flames. But it's all about communication and very much so knowledge when it comes to the men. And it's both ways with the women too. You have to communicate because um men is not going to you're not going to know what we're going through unless we communicate it. But it's also one of those things where you have to be open and available for her to feel comfortable to bring that to you, because a lot of times women, as feminine beings, we need someone that we can hold, that can hold that weight, and we can feel comfortable with it being um not just a double weight, but actually something that is being supported and helped. And it gives you more confidence to understand that you can get over it. And being that you are masculine energy and you are my strength, that's where the healing can start if we're doing this together. If you do it by yourself, then that's when you start to feel the alone, all of those different feelings, and your support system, they're there. But if you have a significant other that's not there for you in those trying times, it manifests more trauma to your wound and you hold on to that. So then that starts to manifest into resentment and everything else once you have healed from your depression. So you have to be very gentle with postpartum depression because it's almost like a catalyst to what's going to happen in the future. So I really would think that I would love, if I was to say anything to men, is to communicate and just gain as much knowledge about your partner, her past, all of those different things that she has been through in her life, or things that are triggers for her in her life. And then even in the pregnancy, talk about those things so those don't become triggers once the baby is born and postpartum depression starts.
Man, well, that's good right there. Like, whoo, I want to go out and have a baby so I can talk about it. But um, yo, tune in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. as we drop this weight. Let's get it. Uh, No, not nah. But man, yeah, that's good because yeah, that's good. I mean, fellas, man, have these conversations. Stop just laying down and yes, I get it. When it comes to sex, I get all that. But
Mm-hmm.
when you talking about bringing a child into this earth, and when you talking about responsibilities, your number one responsibility is to know who you with before
Mm-hmm.
you lay down and experience all this joy and fun and happiness and just oh yeah, like know who you with, know who you dealing with, and so that going forward, if y'all bring a child into this earth, you know what I'm saying, y'all can be talking, communicating, because God didn't design us to do anything alone. He said it
Right.
in Genesis. Man should not live. Well, no, I'm sorry. He said, it's not good for man to be alone. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that goes both ways. It's not good for a man to be. It's not good for a woman to be alone. We are supposed to be working together as a unit. And I get it. We go through things in life, and sometimes we're not on the same accord, and things happen. But you know, there has to be because whoever you with, you got to communicate. It don't matter.
Right.
You got to have a open line of communication. You got to be able to talk. So men, just man, just man up. You know what I'm saying? Basically, just men, like we got to start doing research. We just can't just walk around and just say I'm a man and I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna provide for the family. It's like no, we got to tap into our more sensitive side, because
Mm-hmm.
just because you're a man don't mean you're not sensitive. Just because you're a man don't mean that you don't feel certain things. Yes, women feel more. Women are more sensitive, but women come from men. So therefore, the same thing that's in us is in them, and vice versa.
Yep.
We have more testosterone, they have more estrogen. But that don't mean we don't have estrogen. That don't mean they don't have testosterone. We just got
Yeah.
more of it, they got less. So it's like, so we have a part of us that can be sensitive to certain situations. So we got to stop walking around acting like we macho and just like, yeah, yeah. Nah, man, that's you. You held that. I'm gonna go out here and work, take it. Nah, man, pay attention to your wife, your significant others, and ask questions. Try to find out, what they're dealing with, what's going on in their life, because it affects them, but it affects the household. If she is dealing with something, that child is affected. Like you mentioned about the womb, and what was that? What you call that again?
Womb
Womb
trauma.
trauma. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like that. That right there is so deep. Like I wish we had the time to really unpack that, because that's so major. I believe like that a lot of women deal with, because there are a lot of things that are untold in families. There are a lot of things that we go through as children, that or how as we're growing up, that we never really talk about.
Right.
And for a guy, we deal with certain things, and we just like guys do, we just hold it in, and we use other things to kind of offset what we've gone through, because guys been molested, guys have gone through whatever situations. But women, for y'all to go through trauma like that and y'all hold it in y'all womb and then manifest it, oh my god, that's whew, lord, that's deep.
Yeah. Oh
That
yeah.
right there
And
is go ahead.
that's just generational. That's generational learned behavior. We just don't talk about that type of stuff. We're not really taught those things. And so a lot of times when you see these women wilding out, doing all this crazy stuff, that's just based out of that's trauma response. And that's just shallow trauma response. That doesn't even go down to the surface of why that man or woman is doing the things that they're doing. They're projecting their trauma on all of these people, and the people they attract are the responders because they go through similar things. So when you hear the words
Mm,
trauma bonding, trauma responses, like we are all trauma induced in some type of way. We've all dealt with some
right.
type of trauma, and having all of those traumas in
Exactly.
our lives has caused all of us to bond in some type of way. And so that's why we have so much of sexual immorality going on and everything else, because we're bonding and we're all wanting to feel something except healing, because healing sucks right now, because we're
Mm-hmm.
continuously inducing ourselves with trauma. And just like any withdrawal of addiction, when we are addicted to our trauma, sometimes it's going to take some withdrawals, some shakes and some pains and everything else. And so even with postpartum depression, because it's so deeply rooted into our nature of how much trauma we have in our lives, that's why it's so hard for some women to overcome it. And it becomes the psychosis, because it's something that you just cannot even get into because it's so deeply rooted. And who got the time, patience, energy, money, anything to be able to go into the depths of them and understand why and who and what and everything else? I was lucky because I've always been a tap into the psyche. I've always wanted to know, why does my mind work this way? Why do I feel depressed? Why do I feel anxious? Why do I have all of these feelings? And it took me going to a trauma therapist and understanding myself and understanding why I was doing the things, why I was choosing the choices that I was making, and unpacking that stuff. It really, really sucked. It really did. It was an experience that if I never have to go through it again, I will not go through it again.
Yeah.
I found the different mechanisms that help me to heal. So even with postpartum, these same mechanisms work. These same things help me because I am now tapped into aligning myself with my womb and making sure that I am as ready as I am for the next trauma, because we do have traumas that comes in our lives. And if I do
Yeah.
get pregnant again, oh Jesus. Uh if that was to ever happen, I will be more equipped to understand what's going on. And when it hits me, it's not, one of those things where I'm like, no. Listen, I say that because if all of the working mechanisms are there, then it can always happen. But my kids are grown pretty much, and I ain't trying that life there. Woo! But I like to, I'm not one that was another thing with me when it came to childbearing and understanding postpartum depression and everything. It never shied me away from saying, I don't want to have another kid. I don't want to go through that again. And some women do that.
Right.
They're like, take this out of me. I don't want nothing else, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I just, in all of that, in all of the postpartum depression, even having the time where I was a single parent and I had to go through that alone, to having a significant other and having that support, to now, even as my kids are older, having you still have the same thoughts. Am I a good mother? Can I do more?
Right.
Will I do more? Will I be around to see their purpose fulfilled in me nurturing who they are? Just all of these different doubts and everything comes. And it's like a form of it. But coming on the other side of healing, I know that I am confident enough that I am their mother, and God did that for a reason, and their purpose is fulfilled just for me being their mother alone. And so me feeling that makes me more fulfilled, and it gives me more confidence that I'm doing the best that I can, and I'm doing the best that I am at this point, and there will be greater later. So I have to just give God thanks for that, because He definitely brought me away, a ways away from what I used to think of, just feeling defeated and everything else. So now I'm on the other side, and a new single parent of 3 kids. It's hard. It's a challenge. It's everything. And I get into those depressive moments where I'm just like, am I doing enough for these babies? Um,
Yeah.
and God is just like, just continue to trust me. Continue to give yourself grace. Continue to understand that this life is here for you to tell your testimony, give your voice. And so I'm taking you through these phases for you, me, and everybody else that may be touched by this. So, yeah.
Wow. 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 So ladies, next time stop asking the question, why I keep picking all these sorry men. It's mainly because you dealing with some trauma in your life that you ain't uncovered. So you keep picking the same
Exactly.
type of guy because hey, you attracted to his trauma that he has. So
Hmm.
man, yeah, we can go all day with that.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Yes,
and you just
indeed.
kind of hit on it. You just kind of hit on it. But how have you transitioned from postpartum to post me?
Yeah, the post me, it's so many phases to it because I'm in such a huge transition that it's like, hold on, let me calm down. Like, wait a minute, because um being one, I mean, I have three kids. One is 9, the other one is 12, about to be 13 in 2 days, and then I have my 15-year-old. And so having these big kids that are like little versions of me in some type of way in different phases of my life, um I am reminded of God's grace by them. Um,
Hmm.
so it really helps me because I look at them and I'm just like, I remember when I was pregnant with you, and my oldest, I always just knew that she was gonna be like a little mama. Like I just knew it. She was so, I don't know, she just took her time to come out. Like she was a week after, like overdue. And so it was just like she's just chilling. And so
Yeah,
in
yeah,
her life now, she has no sense of urgency. It's like, it's gonna be there. Life is great. I'm here. And she's a mother. Like when it comes to her siblings, she's like the second mother for them. And so I call her
yeah,
Mama T. But from my womb, I felt her energy. I knew how she was going to be. And so, and then with my son, it was like, he was huge. I was like, oh, this is gonna be my little baby Hulk. He's going to be big. And he came out 10 pounds. And when he came all out and just who he is, just this lively child, I'm just like, oh my goodness. Now I have this
you had a
extremely
10 pound.
intelligent child. Huh?
You had a 10 pounder.
Listen. Oh my
You had
gosh.
you a little. You
Yes.
had you a butterball. What in the world?
Listen, he came out ready for steak. Let me tell you. I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? But I mean, he was a big baby, head full of hair, and and then face up. So he came in the world ready. I'm talking about ready, ready. So, but yeah, he's so smart and he's very intelligent and playing football and just doing all these great things. And I just look at him and I'm like, I visioned this when you were inside of me. And my youngest coming in like a little fireball the way that she did, I was like, huh, this one here, oh, she about to do great things in the world. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, this new age of influencing and TikTok and everything else, that's her. So all three of my kids remind me every day why my healing is so important. And with them, it makes it easier. So my post me, my transition me has become more fulfilled in me. I know that they're going to be okay because mommy's okay. Mommy is, fulfilling who she needs to be, even in the slow moments. And I call this my slow moment because I'm in this transition to where I hadn't been using my voice, but God has
Mm.
told me your voice is about to be it needs to be heard. And in the most unlikely of places or whatever you're gonna go through, it's gonna come out. So get ready. Huh. I didn't know what that meant. And then here is my family message and say, hey, this, and then here I am. So This has definitely contributed to that post me and me saying I want more. And when I said that to my womb, to myself, to my heart, to God, like I did all of that, I said I want more. I know that I need more
Yeah.
because I'm not I have done the work for me. I've done the healing for me. So this post me right now is ready to help do the work for others or with others, because I can't do the work for you. I would much rather be a part of your community and sit next to you so that you can fulfill what it is that you need to do.
Exactly. Exactly. Man, that's good news. I had wanted to just share something like when you were talking about your voice, because it's something about finding your voice.
Mm-hmm.
It is truly something about finding your voice. And I named my podcast "Can't Wait to Talk." You know, and because I've been dealing with my own weight, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and I've been carrying it around for years, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was always about the physical that I was carrying, but it was way deeper than that. So
Mm-hmm.
out of finding what that was, that traumas and stuff that I was carrying. See, you talked about trauma, but I've literally been carrying my traumas, and
Mm-hmm.
it has manifested itself into the physical part of my body.
Right.
So, because I dealt with stuff in my younger years, and with my dad not being in my life, and just all different types of things. So, it just continued to grow and grow and grow. Um, but when God gave me this title, "Can't Wait to Talk," I want to talk about weight. I want to talk about different things to help people. But this is one thing I found out about talking. Talking begins a conversation, and
Mm-hmm.
conversation brings healing. So
Mm-hmm.
the fact that you had this opportunity to kind of talk about what you've gone through, and it's going to bring healing not only to yourself but to whoever listens to this, because they are going through it and they don't really know how to deal with it. They don't know what answers, how to go about it. And so that's what this platform is about. It's about bringing healing. But in order to bring healing, you got to find your voice. You got to be able to talk. Once you open your mouth and talk and have that conversation, now that conversation will bring that healing. Why? Because you're no longer sitting on it. You're no longer carrying it in your mind, carrying it in your heart, carrying it in your body. Oh my God, carrying it in your body. You're no longer doing that because you're talking about it. And see, one thing the enemy wants us to do is to be quiet. He
Yep.
wants to he wants us to just marinate on it and just think about it over and over and over. I've talked about the story how I went to jail one time. It was for tickets, but nevertheless I had warrants and I went to jail. And as long as I was in the day room, where everybody was in there and everybody was talking, and because we was all in there for the same thing, didn't pay our tickets and we ended up getting warrants, so they picked us up. So
Oh.
it was people from all walks of life. I think a UPS, I mean not a UPS, uh, a FedEx driver or a postal driver was in there. I mean, it was just so it was kind of like we was all just kicking and having fun. But
Yeah.
oh, when they sent us to our cells though, and
Mm-mm.
I went to that cell, and I heard that clink clink, and it was like me and another guy in there, but I was like, and then all of a sudden my mind just started. I started thinking about all kind of stuff, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
it was so loud that I was like, nope, nope, nope. I had to go to sleep because my mind was just rambling so much, and I'm like, man. But that's the thing. The enemy wants us to be locked in. He wants us to not deal with things. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why this platform is so important. That's why I try to have on guests to talk about certain things, and then even when I just talk about things on my own, I want to be able to share and impact people so that they can, man, like if it don't do anything, I just want them to get a conversation started. You know what I'm saying? Like I said,
Right.
talking brings conversation. Conversation brings that healing. So if it gets them to think differently,
Yeah.
that's the purpose that is fulfilled. So uh man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for coming on. I appreciate you for being vulnerable. I appreciate you for being open. You shared some things with me that I didn't know. A lot of times, when you family, you think you know everything, but then when you actually have a conversation, you're like, I didn't know that.
Mhm.
I did a
Yeah.
I did a I did an interview with a homeboy of mine, and I mean we've been knowing each other for like 20 some years, and he started sharing stuff. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. So you don't know everything about everybody. Like I don't care if you family or not, you just not gonna know everything unless you talk like that all the time.
Of
So,
course. Of course.
but I really do appreciate you coming on and just being vulnerable, really sharing your story, and man, I would love to have you back. To talk about just I think it's something that we can go deep on. I've been having different ideas about like doing like a woman's panel and and not you mentioned that you was divorced, so there's some things I want to talk about when it comes to being a single parent or especially a woman. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, yeah, I will talk about that. But so that like I say, it's so much weight out here to talk about. I'm like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
I got all kind of the stuff to just for like we can talk about that, we can talk about this, da, 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 da. So
Uh-huh. Yes.
but I appreciate you. Talk about your organization. I forgot the
H.
name. So say it. Yeah, the Triple H. Talk
Oh,
about the
well,
Triple
yeah.
H and
Yeah, so H3 is me. I I love to post on social media. Well, I did for a while. I was really big on posting, and one day one of my clients was in the chair and she was just like, Ty, I really appreciate how vulnerable you've been in just showing us how it's okay not to be able to take your mask off and post about being happy one minute, post about the trials that's going on with your life, and then also post about you healing from the different things, and being transparent without just being out here telling your business. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
when we
got to be
talked
careful.
that way, I was like, you know what? I am all over the place sometimes. I'm like, okay, I'm real happy over here one moment. The next minute, I'm like, wait a minute, something just happened in my life. And then the next minute, I'm like, woosah from both. Let me align myself. And you know, talking to my clients and hearing how sometimes they feel guilty when it comes to grief when they are happy about something, and just feeling like they have to choose one emotion over the other just for acceptance. It I realize that this is something that a lot of people go through, even men. We all feel like we have to harbor an emotion just because of the tribe that we're around. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. I want to walk in what God has for me, which is all three of them. I'm not always happy. I'm not always hurting and sad and feeling, certain ways, and I'm not always healing. Sometimes I am in one of these other phases, and that's totally okay. Sometimes you're all three in one day, like Texas weather. You don't know what you're gonna get, but
What boy?
but we roll with it. It's time out trying to continuously judge yourself, because you're really walking in your purpose when you allow God to just move through you. And sometimes it's when you're doing all three. So this project is pretty much trying to just give knowledge to, or provide knowledge to let you know that it's okay to do all three. And not to feel so judged by yourself, because others are going to judge you regardless. Whichever phase you're in, you're going to trigger someone else's demons, because everybody is healing, hurting, and happy from something that you may be triggering. So you have to look within self and have those hard conversations with yourself, have those hard conversations with others, create boundaries, do it, all of these different things trigger one of these three things. And so what I like to do is just, talk to women about the different things. And it's really a low key type of project, because I'm doing this for my own understanding and my own feeling of whatever else that it is that God is going to shift me in with this. Um, but just going into that depth of conversation to understand why we feel the need to not go to therapy. Why do we feel the need to self-medicate so that we can um pretty much suppress the feelings, when really and truly, even if you weren't on those substances, you're still suppressing those feelings. So you're just double suppressing an emotion or things that you could be healing. um, and I'm not saying self-medication is bad, because I mean, hey, sometimes we have to do what we have to do to sustain in life. But I know that it comes from a place that if you were to heal, it will give you a whole new realm of satisfaction when you are in those, phases of where you are in your life. So yeah, that project is really near and dear. It just shows me that coming from this divorce, um, I'm trying to find this new place in life. It's weird calling myself a single mother, and it's weird not feeling guilty for being a single mother. I did choose this life, and it is a hard life to walk away from everything that you know and start over from scratch and feel alone in doing it. When I have no tribe really at this point. It is just me. And the people that come along in my life here lately has been helping me within the season, but that's just because I'm in this transition, that I know that these people that's coming in my life are here to progress me through the season that I'm in. And once I get into that next season, that's when I can build the community. But right now, I'm at a point of transition that it's weird. It's very weird, but I'm taking it in grace. I'm giving myself grace and mercy, and actually trying to do more, say yes more, do what I'm supposed to do, and be obedient to what God is trying to do for me. So, with this project, it has definitely helped me, because I'm being vulnerable and I'm learning about the different things that Black women and Black men are going through. Because just as much as sensitive I am with the Black women, I am the same with my Black men. Like, the struggles and the different things that you guys have to go through, I'm not sympathetic, I'm more empathetic to it. I understand it to a point where it's like, it's this double thing that women are needing this protection from you guys, but in the same sense, you guys need the soft comfort for that feminine energy, so that you can be able to interchange who you are as a man, because you're being attacked in so many different ways that you're not even able to grasp what is needed from you. And so I'm very much empathetic to that, because it's hard for both, and it's not a competition anymore. It's really about our healing and how we can heal together, so that we can be what we can be for that next partner or whoever it is that is in our lives, because I mean, it goes interchangeably with everything that we're doing right now.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, again, I appreciate you. Much love to you. You know what I'm saying? What are you? Can people reach you out? On social media. What's your social media handles?
Yes, my social media, I have Miss Ty Gym 89. And for my dance page, it's Wine Tings, but it's spelled a little different. It's WHYNETYNGZ. And my H3 is me, is just that it's age 3 is me. And so yeah, those are my handles. I want to tell you, I appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you are doing and are wanting to put out there. And I just wish you the best. And thank you so much for having me and bringing me on and talking about a topic that I just think that is just, the it's a woman, uh it's just isn't it's not a big, I feel like it's like it's not a big deal. It's something to go through, this isn't this, but actually breaking it down and talking about it shows how deep and how well versed that this is something that needs to be talked about. So I appreciate you as a Black man bringing this type of topic onto your platform to be able to reach other men and other women that may need to have those conversations with their partner or whatever. So I appreciate you and I thank you and I am so proud of you. So yeah.
Oh.
Well, again, I appreciate you. I thank you so much. I love you so much. And y'all, we're gonna keep this thing rolling. We're gonna keep it going, man, because I want to invest in you. I want to invest into your healing. I want to invest into your wholeness. And this is what this platform is about. We can't wait to talk. We're going to get this weight up off of us. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get rid of it. We can't carry it any longer. We got places to go, people to see, people to encourage, people to impact. So we don't have time to be trying to carry weight every single day of our lives because it's too heavy. And that's what's keeping us down. That's what's keeping us bound. And if you know, like I know, the enemy wants to keep you down and bound and low to the ground. But we're going to get up. We're going to stand up. We're going to trust God. We're going to walk with God. And we're going to give him all the praise, all the glory. So y'all know what time it is. It's your boy, Kizzie in the building. Can't wait to talk. And we're going to talk about it. So much love to the next episode. Let's get it.
Hey.